How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. As usual, y'all know me. Things are looking a little different, so let's dive on into it. Alright everybody, so this video is going to be a bit more of a talking head style video, so if you don't want to watch the video, it's going to be the same image the whole video. I'm just going to be sitting here talking for a few minutes, and I'm just going to update you about what's been going on. It seems like the video before the last video I released was also a life update and what was going on. If you go back and watch that video, it'll be linked up in the top left or top right. If you go back and watch that video, if you take a look at the shirt I'm wearing, that's kind of a giveaway of where I'm at right now. I don't know if you can read that because my background blur. That flag also gives it away. I started college. Kind of an interesting time to start college in July, that's for sure. It's definitely difficult not having summer. I graduated high school June 1st of this year, and I started college on July 14th. As of recording this, it is July 31st at 4:50 p.m. So, I've been settling in for a couple of weeks, and it's kicking my butt. In high school, you got about 50% lecture time, 50% classwork time, and during classwork, you know, you get to guess and check concepts and so on and so forth. Classwork, aka concept check. You get to go up and talk to the teacher and, you know, get some help. College, instead of being 50% lecture, 50% concept check, is pretty much 100% lecture, and the concept check you get is on the homework. In high school, you can get away without doing the homework. Your grade would suffer just because homework was such a big part. Here at Kettering University, which is where I am attending college in Flint, Michigan, the homework is worth pretty much nothing. If you're going to pass, you're going to have to do the homework because it's really the only time of day and only time and only resource that you have to make sure that you actually understand the content going into the tests and the exams and classwork and projects and so on and so forth. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I don't have many grades in yet, so I don't know how I'm doing. So I'm going to assume I'm doing well. Hopefully I'm doing well. But in addition to having to learn everything in my classes and pay attention in class, I'm also having to learn how to learn what I'm learning in class, because it's an adjustment going from the 50% lecture, 50% concept check to the 100% lecture. Like I said, you're not only having to learn the content, but you're also having to teach yourself how to learn the content, which makes it 10 times harder. I think my next term here will be a little bit easier, given that, you know, I'll know what to expect with the dorms, the people around me. I'll actually know some people, and I'll know how to approach taking notes, and I'll know how to actually learn the content in class. So winter term, hopefully, will be a bit easier. Kettering's interesting. The way that Kettering does it is you go to school for 22 weeks out of the year. Most schools are 36. High schools are 36. Most colleges, I believe, are 34 weeks, somewhere around there. Kettering's at about 2/3 that, punching in at 22. The reason for that is because at Kettering, you go to school for 3 months, and then you have this thing called a co-op employer, which is pretty much an internship that you go to, and you do some work-based learning for 3 months. Then you go back to school for 3 months, and then you go back to work for 3 months, so on and so forth, until eventually you end up with a degree in engineering of some kind. More in depth, you go to school for 10 weeks, and then the 11th week is exams. Following that, you have a week called 0 week, where basically you get a week to move wherever, because some people have co-ops out in California, some people have co-ops in Germany. A lot of people, myself included, have a co-op here in Michigan. So thankfully, I don't need the whole week to move. I'll get like a spring break or whatever, or I guess it'd be a fall break, and I won't really have to pack much. I'll just have to pack what's in my dorm and take it home, or move it to an apartment closer to wherever I'm living. Where I live permanently outside of the dorm is quite a far drive from my co-op employer. And if you know what vehicle I drive, I'll put a picture of it on screen right now.
Dude.
It's a pickup truck. It's not particularly great on gas. For those of you gearheads and motorheads out there, it is a 2001 Chevrolet Silverado, 5.3 liter LS V8, and yeah, not much is done to it. I just have a leveling kit, 1.5 inch lift in the rear, plus a 2.5 inch level lift on the torsion keys in the front. I could sit and talk about vehicles all day, but in terms of YouTube, what do I see myself doing with YouTube? When I was growing up, I always had a dream of being a big YouTuber, millions of subscribers, and blah, 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 blah. And as I kind of gained a little bit of traction, a little bit of attention, like I have a couple videos with a couple 100,000 views, quite a few videos with in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of views. I've got about 4,000 subscribers, just under 4,000 subscribers. It would be nice to have 1 million subscribers and be able to retire off of YouTube and just sit at home and play video games all day. But I'm at school to be an engineer right now, and that's another future. So in terms of my goals with YouTube, as of right now, it's kind of shifted away from trying to become a full-time gig in the future to you know, being something part-time on the side where I can just play video games, talk about computers, and show people how to do things, just to help people out on the side, you know what I mean? Whether it's computer informational content, like a lot of you guys know me for, or you know, how Fortnite performs on this computer or whatever. I really see it being a part-time thing just to bring in some extra income, because I do make a pretty decent amount to have a little bit of fun with. You know, I'd put it right back into the channel. I mean, recently I actually just invested in a new camera for you guys. I haven't finished getting it set up yet, so it might look a little crappy, so I do apologize for that. But that's just the thing. It's gonna come with time as I tweak in my settings to where I want them to be. So starting college, you know, being an engineer, my Nitro 5 was built in 2019, and it had pretty mediocre specs for back then. It had an i5 4 core or 6 core, something like that, and a GTX 1650. I mean, it was a plastic chassis. It had dings, dents, and scratches in it, and it's like, you know, for carrying it around a college campus all day, every day, the plastic chassis, and you know, being 5 years old and being pretty mediocre when it was new, it's just not gonna cut it. I do a lot of computer programming here, even though I'm going to be a mechanical engineer, and later down the road I'm going to be doing a lot of CAD and CAM and a lot of complex calculations. So I went out and I bought myself a new laptop. It's a pretty nice laptop. It's an aluminum chassis. It's an HP Omen 16. It's got an i7-14700HX and a RTX 4070 mobile. So the specs are newer and better than my desktop at home, but just because of how laptops work and the form factor difference, size and heat restrictions and whatever, the desktop still outperforms this by about 200%, so 2 to 1, somewhere around there. But it is a nice laptop. It plays Fortnite at about it'll get 240 on Fortnite. The CPU is insane, so it does pretty good in Fortnite. It does pretty good in GTA. It's in the high 90s to low to mid 100s of FPS, so it does what I want it to. It games. I streamed on it once before. Probably gonna look to stream a little bit more once I get college a little more figured out, because I'm getting settled in, but I'm not completely settled in. I won't be completely settled in, I don't think, until second term in the winter. Anyways, my goals are going to be to stream. I don't know how many times a week I'm going to be streaming or when I'll be streaming, but my goal is to stream a couple times a week, 1 to 3 times a week maybe. You know, just sit down, have some fun for a couple hours, and then I'd also like to upload a video at least once a week. I'm gonna aim for once every 2 weeks for this first term. And I want to get back onto the once a week schedule, just because I really do enjoy creating content. A big thing with me and my content creation journey has been motivation. It's I mean, obviously I haven't been motivated to create content recently, and that's why I'm just making my first video in God knows how long. I have plenty of motivation to go out and record. Recording and talking to the camera is the easy part. The hard part is sitting down for 4 to 5 times, if not longer, of how long you recorded, sitting down, rewatching the same thing over and over and over, cutting out unnecessary parts, cutting out parts where you messed up, aka editing. The hard part for me is editing. I'm not very good at making my videos crazy entertaining and doing flips with the screen and sound effects and visual effects and boom, explosion, blah blah blah. I'm not very good at that. What I am good at is getting my point across, and I'm a pretty mediocre editor. I've thought about paying for editors, but given how much I do make from YouTube, like all my YouTube revenue would be going to an editor. I don't want to be giving an editor more than 50% of what I'm making on YouTube. Ideally, it'd be in the quarter to 50% range. But so for now, I'm just going to be hanging out. I'm going to be doing my own thing here at school. Like I said, hopefully streaming a time or two a week. Hopefully uploading a time every week or two. You know, just to have some fun. Stay tuned. My next video will probably be a tour of the dorm. I actually recorded a version of this video a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't have this camera yet. I was on my laptop's webcam, and I was just like, you know, this webcam sucks. It's actually pretty good for a laptop webcam, but I was like, you know, I'd much rather record it on my brand new webcam that I just ordered, which for those of you wondering is a Brio 4K from Logitech. I'm definitely glad I waited it out. So like I said, the next video will probably be the dorm. I made that video a couple of weeks ago and didn't ever end up finishing production of it. Finally got a ring light as well. And I have my camera and my microphone. So everything's pretty much how I want it. I mean, back there's lived in. I just built this chair yesterday. So there's a bunch of trash on the ground that I need to clean up. I mean, other than that, it's pretty lived in, and that dorm tour is ready to be made. But yeah, so if you guys are hyped for a dorm tour of what a college freshman attending a small private college looks like, it'll be different from college to college. Kettering is a pretty small college. If you're interested in what the dorm looks like, or in what it might look similar to at other schools, go ahead, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you're interested in just what my dorm looks like in general, you might as well stick around, drop that like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll have that video out shortly for you guys. Without further ado, guys, that's going to do it for me for today. Thank you guys so much for sticking by me throughout these past 6 years since I really took off, and through the ups, through the downs. I appreciate you guys, and yeah, so that's it for me for today. I will see you guys in the dorm tour. Peace.